and welcome to Your Successful Retirement TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, and I'm joined today by Misha Dagher of Dagher Financial LLC. Good morning, Misha. How are you this week?
Good morning, Cynthia. How are you? Nice to having me back on the show.
Oh, Misha, I love our time together, and I so look forward to the weekly episodes because we're delivering such timely and important information to the viewing audience, preparing for the retirement years, which, as you've mentioned in the past, can be very scary if you don't have a true, written, comprehensive retirement plan. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
Well, Misha, I want to talk a little bit about your personal story today because if the viewers are tuning in for the very first time this week, I would like them to hear a little bit about how your company came to be, Dagher Financial LLC. Can you give them an idea of how that started?
Yes, it is actually a personal story, if I may say. Um, well, I've been in this business since 2011. I worked for another firm and, for years, and things did not, at the end I had to resign. And, during that year, I applied for a few jobs and I got great two offers. And I was about to choose from those two offers. That's when all along my husband was all the time Joe. So I say hi to him. I'm sure he's listening. And so he was just, pausing me all the time. Every time I'm going to an interview or every time I'm trying to, talk to him. And we're good friends. So I'm talking to him about what's happening and how I'm going to make a decision, which one I'm going to choose. And, I said, I think I'm going to choose one over another just because it's going to make me help the people here in my community, because I really, really admire that. I love what I do. And, I wanted to be able to be part of the community and at the same time working. And so he's like, why don't you have your own firm? I mean, you've done that, you've tried it, and I don't want you to work for years and more to come, but then you end up being in the same place. Why don't you start your own? And we've had so many of that conversation, and I always tend to tell him, I love what I do. I love helping people realizing their retirement success, planning for retirement success. Giving them that happy feeling that yes, they worked so hard, they, saved so much money, and I'm helping them, go through that roadmap, holding hands with them. It's just what I love to do. I don't want to have a company and be able to manage employees and, deal with rent and, contracts and all that stuff. But then, he just would not budge on that. So he always was focusing on, give it a try, give it a thought. And then he finally taught me on, you have to go to Lebanon. I'm originally from Lebanon. So you have to go back because to visit your parents and and his parents basically, and have the kids spending quality of time with them. We're not going to have another opportunity that you are actually home and the kids still young, so you can take them out of school and go for 2-3 months in there. You have to go. So I finally gave up because it was Palm Sunday coming, Easter coming, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna spend it with my family. And I'm one of 9 kids, so I have adorable, loving, big family. So I was like, I can't wait. So I went to Lebanon, spent great quality time with my family and my in-laws. And my husband surprised me a few days before Palm Sunday. Went to Lebanon, having already a company registered, chosen the name just because some people had found me or looked me up after I left my previous employer by the name. So he chose the company as Dagher Financial because my maiden name is Micheline Dagher. And then
Okay.
he already did the website. He already did the slogan, which based on my saying all the time, realizing your retirement success. And he also found the location for the office here in Walpole. That was our main office and our, the office here within our community. And, he had also talking to another person in Burlington area as a tentative virtual other office. So he was like, he surprised us with the whole thing. And I was like, yeah, I guess I have a company. And I love it because, I get to work with my previous clients again. They found me, some of them online, some of them reach out. And, I got a lot of the dearest people that I love. And, I thank them if they are listening for their support and encouragement and trust, the most important, because that's what we do. We build a relationship, we build a trust with our clients. That's how Dagher Financial was born.
Oh, Misha, I love that story. And I know the viewing audience at home does as well, because we always hear different comments that come in. When we have our shows weekly, it's just amazing to hear the feedback, and we have the viewer questions that come in. But so often people have mentioned that they have such a warm experience when they come in to sit with you, that you're exactly the same person in person as you are on this show. And that's a great testimonial to you and to your company.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So, Misha, let me ask you your opinion. How important is it to have a true, comprehensive, written retirement plan, a written one?
It's the most important part. People can think about the retirement all the time.
Okay.
They have plans of withdrawing some additional money from their retirement account, supplement their Social Security, maybe supplement a pension, but they never really put it in writing. And here they come. They retire, and after 1 year, they get the sudden, shocking news of either they withdrew so much from their account that it's not going to be sustainable for years. Maybe they did not count for inflation, or maybe they did not count for taxes. A lot of other, I can go on and on. We can take the whole show. So it is very important versus when actually not having conversation, instead having a conversation forced by a written, customized plan, personalized for their need, specifying when and how and which account first to take, and second, how to take it from the other accounts, the taxation involved in all these steps. Also, having a foundation, a diversified investment plan that gives them the stability and the guaranteed income in certain areas. So this is all fits together, as well as when to file for Social Security, how to file for Social Security, which strategy, if they are couple or divorce, were married for more than 10 years, etc., etc. There is so many involved in there. So we actually have to write things down to make sure that it is in front of us, readable, can be gone through, the details, as well as, it's fine. It's tailored to their needs. So we can retailor it as we go on, as long as the base is there.
Sure. And Misha, I can't believe it's time for us to take our first commercial break, but can you tell the viewing audience what they can expect to receive by calling in today, by being one of the first 10 callers?
Actually, it's part of our conversation. So the first 10 callers, they can receive a customized written retirement plan that includes a personalized Social Security timing report that will also include reviewing their current situation and make sure give them comments about that. This is all for them if they call and be the first 10 callers, 833-365-8383.
Thank you, Misha. To the viewing audience at home, that number to call once again is 833-365-8383. When we come back from this very short commercial break, we're going to have more questions and answers about planning your perfect retirement. Please stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss it.
As a good saver, you've been putting away money during your working years. Studies find that the biggest fear of retirees is running out of money. Market volatility isn't just the downward movement of stock prices, it's the size and frequency of change. The more dramatic the ups and downs, the higher the volatility. This can put savers who are newly retired or a few years away from being retired at greater risk. Today's generation of retirees is not receiving traditional pensions as our parents or grandparents did. Instead, we have retirement accounts such as 401ks or 403bs. These accounts typically expose your money to market risk. The last thing you want right before retirement is to lose a portion of the money you need for income. But how do you turn these accounts into a retirement income? Is it safe to keep all your retirement money sitting in the stock market? The last thing you want is to lose a portion of the money you need for income due to market loss. By working with a financial professional, you can learn how to turn a portion of your savings into an income stream for life and income for the life of your spouse if you're married. We all have moments in our lives when we wish we had taken action sooner. Don't let procrastination reign on your retirement parade. Act now before it's too late. Please call our office to set up your no-cost, no-obligation retirement income review today.
And welcome back to Your Successful Retirement TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, and I'm joined today by Misha Dagher of Dagher Financial LLC. And Misha, a great show we're having today. The first segment off, we actually talked most about how you actually had the birth of your company, which I love that story. And as we segue now into the second part of our show, I want to kind of get a feel for you of what people are thinking about when they're contemplating retirement. Do you receive a lot of phone calls and they're asking you, Misha, am I ready to retire and how do I know? If so, can you help me?
Correct. We have lots of calls, such things, because, don't forget, we are during a pandemic currently. We're not yet off it. People suddenly, during March and April, they received their statements and they lost a big chunk of their money. Sure. Very big chunk. So now people are just wondering, am I still on the right for retirement? Before, Cynthia, we've had so many pensions for retirees. So they used to retire having Social Security and pension, or a big pension and maybe part of Social Security. But now we are all focusing and counting on the defined contribution plan, which basically it's totally different from the defined benefit plans such as pensions. Mm-hmm. So the contribution plans are to the employees' specific accounts that it's their responsibilities how to invest it and where to invest it and how to choose the investments. So it's a big job for them to do, especially if you don't have a financial background or you don't tend to like to read too much about finances and learn the specifics out of it. So It's just very difficult for just regular people. It's like, it's like me trying to build a house. Mm-hmm. Well, definitely I cannot, but what I certainly can do, build a written retirement plan for an engineer that can help me or can build my own house. Sure. So each person has a specific job. And that's why we really encourage people to seek advice when it comes to retirement, because it's not as easy as when we go through the accumulation period, when we contribute to all our accounts and just save. So the key there, just keep doing it, Mm-hmm. Keep pumping money to your retirement accounts, whether it's another subject now, whether it should be a 401k or Roth 401k, or maybe just a Roth IRA and an IRA. So those are different subjects, but the importance is to pump money inside of these accounts. This is the first phase. This is the accumulation phase. And that's easy for any regular person that's hardworking. wanted to retire safely with a great nest for them to count on and not outlive their money. And even if they tend to choose most of the time, the mutual funds based on an age appropriate, which whether I agree with it is a different conversation. But at least if they choose any of the investments recommended for them through their retirement accounts, they will bounce back because the market goes through phases. Because they're not taking money out of their accounts, they're contributing to their accounts. But the difference is when you are approaching retirement, 10 years or a little more away from retirement, this is important. This is when you have to have a written plan. And this is when you really wanted to go through the basics of, am I saving enough? Am I saving it in the right place? Do I have a foundation for my retirement? Am I safe if we have another crash? Am I okay to recoup from it? Or am I counting just on increase in the accounts based on market performance, and suddenly the accounts diminished most of it or some of it because of market crashes? The importance is when we get closer to retirement, way more than when we are early in age and we're trying to save for our retirements.
Sure. Excellent answer, Misha. And I also want to ask you a question. In your opinion, how important is it to consolidate debt when you're approaching the retirement years?
I'm not a fan when someone comes to me and they retired or they are about to retire, but they have a lot of debt. Well, I'm not including mortgage per se, because some people might still have mortgage on their house, but the interest rate is very low, and we tend not to really focus too much on that. But during retirement, the key is actually to focus on enjoying your retirement and not just to make money out of your accounts to pay bills and debt and all of that. You're ruining the beauty of retirement. The beauty of retirement is actually to go through your to-do list, your wishing list, what you like to do during retirement, and try to achieve it. Instead of, well, I need to catch up on that loan, or I need to catch up on that credit card or that debt. So it's really important to focus on creating a plan. And if the listener, whoever's seeing us today, have a financial person who's helping them, but they are only focusing on their managed account or their account that they are investing with, but they are not really helping them on roadmap towards the retirement, including of putting a budget, including paying debt, including making decision about whether you pay your mortgage or not, whether you rent or not, etc. So many. These all topics that it's involved in the retirement plan. It's not separate subjects. So your financial person should be helping you with all what I mentioned and way more as you approach for retirement, because it's very easy, just as I said, to have an account invested in the market and this is what you want, but when you get to a retirement, it's a totally different story.
Sure. And Misha, let me ask you a question as well about taxes. How important is it for a person to be planning ahead for what taxes could be like in retirement?
Absolutely. This is a big, big thing. And that's why when we are talking to people, well, I am not a tax advisor, but I do work with a lot of affiliated CPAs, and we together make sure that they get the tax advice that they need when it's related to taxes. Well, also, regardless of, if you are working with CPA or not, don't you want to explore whether is a Roth IRA is important for you, because you might be just contributing to your 401k or retirement account, 403b, 457, etc. And you're thinking that, yes, I'm saving money right now because in the future my tax bracket is going to be lower than currently. Well, are you sure? Did you plan? Did you see that in writing? Did you know if you actually get your income during retirement higher than a threshold, certain thresholds, you will be taxing 85% of your Social Security payments. This is a huge. Well, so many people say, I thought I'm just getting my money back from Social Security. I already paid for Social Security this money and they are giving it back to me. Why should I be taxed on it? Well, this is how it works. Initially, when Social Security came on, the president at that time said, as long as I'm alive, Social Security will not be taxed. Well, what happened?
Yes.
President died at that time, then Social Security started getting taxed.
Yep.
So we can be taxed on our Social Security payment unless we make the appropriate plan, if possible, for the retiree situation so they can avoid additional taxations.
Misha, thank you so much. It's time for us to take another commercial break. Can you tell the viewing audience what they can expect to receive by calling in today?
Of course, if they do call, we've talked about Social Security during this segment, and that's why they will get a personalized Social Security timing report that we can use, and we will give them to that additional report an additional customized retirement plan, written retirement plan that will involve their current situation and the projected retirement income.
Thank you, Misha. To the viewing audience at home, those phone lines are open. The number to call is 833-365-8383. We do have to take a very short commercial break, but we'll be back momentarily with more questions for Misha. Please stay tuned.
As a good saver, you've been putting away money during your working years. Studies find that the biggest fear of retirees is running out of money. Market volatility isn't just the downward movement of stock prices, it's the size and frequency of change. The more dramatic the ups and downs, the higher the volatility. This can put savers who are newly retired or a few years away from being retired at greater risk. Today's generation of retirees is not receiving traditional pensions as our parents or grandparents did. Instead, we have retirement accounts such as 401ks or 403bs. These accounts typically expose your money to market risk. The last thing you want right before retirement is to lose a portion of the money you need for income. But how do you turn these accounts into a retirement income? Is it safe to keep all your retirement money sitting in the stock market? The last thing you want is to lose a portion of the money you need for income due to market loss. By working with a financial professional, you can learn how to turn a portion of your savings into an income stream for life and income for the life of your spouse if you're married. We all have moments in our lives when we wish we had taken action sooner. Don't let procrastination reign on your retirement parade. Act now before it's too late. Please call our office to set up your no-cost, no-obligation retirement income review today.
And welcome back to Your Successful Retirement TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio. I'm joined today by Misha Dagher of Dagher Financial LLC. Misha, what an amazing first segment that we've had and second segment as we've gone through just talking about planning for retirement, how important it is to really truly have a written, comprehensive retirement plan. That's a critical component to plan your retirement with ease, isn't it?
Correct. Very, very important.
Absolutely. So Misha, I wanted to ask you a couple of questions. We've talked on prior segments about Social Security, but is there a rule of thumb? Is there a one-size-fits-all for when someone should start gleaning their Social Security benefits?
Absolutely not. There is no one year or one age that it fits all. That can be for some, closings, but not for Social Security. Mm-hmm. Social Security is really critical. It's the most important part of the retirement plan. Because you know what? If you have an investment and you are doing something wrong with that investment, you sell, you buy, whatever, you change. If you have even a financial advisor that you're not happy with and managing your accounts and retirement plan, also you can change that. Mm-hmm. But once you file for your Social Security and you start benefit, you cannot undo that. they give you one chance to undo, and it's within 12 months period only, and etc. It has like so many details to go through. But it's just one time. You cannot undo that. Make sure you get it right. Make sure you sit with a professional that understands the in and out of Social Security, because it's very, very important. It's basically going to give you cumulative of distribution if you stay alive for a long period. Cumulative of distribution probably equal or maybe higher amount than your retirement accounts that you accumulated so far. So you really don't want to jeopardize that. That's why I highlight all the time when we start with any plannings, we focus first thing on getting Social Security strategy correct. Once we know that, then we start to make sure, identify the income gap. Then we make sure to create the written plan, the written comprehensive plan that also include a strategy for investing their assets. But the most important is Social Security, because it doesn't have to be only 62. It doesn't have to be only for retirement age. It doesn't have to be only 70. So it can be different for any individual, different for couples also.
And that really is such a benefit of coming in to sit down with you and to go over these different strategies, because a lot of people in the viewing audience may not know that there's different things that they need to be considering when it comes to Social Security and even planning for retirement in general. It should not be a scary process, and definitely I would say, Misha, having that true comprehensive retirement plan really is the peace of mind. It's like a warm blanket on a chilly day. And we are about to the end of our show, Misha. I can't believe it's been another week, but here we are wrapping down to about 30 seconds left. Misha, it's been an amazing opportunity for me to discuss just retirement with you, planning properly for it. We've talked about Social Security. We have some amazing topics in the weeks ahead. So to our viewing audience at home, we want to thank you again for being with us today. We appreciate you spending your time with us, and we look forward to seeing you again next week. Retirement should not be scary, and with Misha's guidance, she will make sure that you're taken care of. Thank you so much for watching. Have a blessed and safe week ahead.